Ladies and gentlemen, we want you to stand and we want you to make some noise.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing here at Knoxville.
Only the best go 3 abreast.
It is show time at Williams Grove Speedway.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, here at Eldora Speedway, it's showtime!
You got 'em for a breath. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the world of outlaws.
It's time to sit back, relax, and enjoy because, ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime!
Set to do battle for 30 laps. The green flag is waving.
Hello again. It is Wing Nation presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. We are glad you joined us talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And again, we are glad you joined us. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post here. Erin is somewhere down with Mickey.
She's wearing her ears around.
She's wearing her ears around.
Florida weather.
Exactly.
Jealous.
And so that means you're stuck with Coffee and Sneezy here because
So
we're battling
true.
the bug. So, yeah. Coffee and Sneezy taking you all the way to the top of the, I don't know, whatever it is.
It's
So,
this dang winter slump that we're in.
well,
Goodness
it's this
gracious.
winter and summer and winter and rain and
rain.
summer. And if you don't like the weather, just blink your eyes. It'll change. And oh, my gosh, it's crazy. But it is good. Ashley and I joining in. We're glad you joined us here talking sprint car racing. We're going to have a ball today because we're going to talk to Donny Schatz. We always have fun talking to Donny Schatz.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk to a rascal named Nick Berry who races sprint cars on ice in New Hampshire. Yeah, let me say that again. Races sprint cars on ice in New Hampshire.
He's one of the few that look forward to the winter for racing.
Yeah.
We're
oh
always
my
mad because
gosh.
the season's over and his is just starting up.
Yeah, he's part of the Lakes Region Ice Racing Club, and so it's going to be good to catch up and see what's going on with Nick. We had a couple of years ago, we had talked to somebody from the Ice Racing Club up there, so it's not the first time we've talked about it, but the first time in a while.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I'm excited to hear how this all works.
Yeah, I follow them on Facebook, and I watch the videos, and I just crack up laughing. It's fantastic. So it is good stuff, so really, really neat. Hey, a couple of things I want to talk about. Man, yesterday we were all glued to our Twitter machine with Tanner Thorson. Holy cow.
Yes, he's very, very fortunate.
Yeah, bad crash. I guess he has a broken foot and other injuries along the way, but we certainly wish him the best. When looking at it, it's one of those things you're saddened, but you're thankful also because that was a bad crash.
Indeed.
So it was an interesting day because it was kind of like you just kept going back to Twitter because they would feature news feeds from local news channels out in California. So we certainly wish Tanner the best on his recovery from this. We're glad it was not worse. It certainly looked worse than it was, but still a long road to recovery. Indeed. And we certainly wish him best. Man, that kid, I love that kid. I watched him race last year watched him in the Truck Series last year. Mm-hmm. And then I went to California for the race weekend and had a ball watching him out there. And then actually got to hang out with him a little bit at the Chili Bowl. Okay. And he's just a good kid. And I'm just like, dang, I hate to see that happen. So, Tanner, we wish you the best and in that recovery and can't wait for you to get back on your feet again and going again. So, on the other side of the news spectrum and somewhat involving the midget world as well, how about our very own Dylan Welch?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
Now, Dylan and Tyler Burnett, they do the Rip the Fence podcast here on MRN.
That's right.
Okay. And Dylan is this kid that just climbs into a midget car once or twice a year, and everyone's like, wow.
He does so well.
Great.
Yeah.
In fact, I think it was Tim Clausen or someone, it was Keith Coons last year, said if Dylan, for as little as Dylan races, he's amazing.
Right.
Well, the good news is our Rip the Fence buddy Dylan's going to race some more.
That's right.
Signed up with Chad Boat's team and our Billy Boat's team with Chad and Carson Elledge is on that team too. Yeah. So, man, I just think that's awesome that our boy Dylan's going to go racing some.
Absolutely. And we'll actually, now that he's going to get some more seat time, we'll actually be able to see how fierce he is as a competitor.
Oh, it's fantastic. I mean, the kid's got it.
That's
exactly.
Right.
So we'll see, but it's cool. We're really proud of him around here. Proud of the whole Rip the Fence thing. If you're into traditional sprint car racing, check out Rip the Fence. Those guys do a great job. They really, truly do. Hey, let's take a look at our classic ink screen printing embroidery hot topics. Rain has been the hot topic, or maybe not the hot topic, but the popular topic. And following along on social media, everyone is just chomping at the bit to get going.
Absolutely. I feel like we've just ended the rainy season of 2018, and it's already started into 2019 now.
Exactly.
So
I know.
frustrating.
It really is. So we need to get that washed out of there. World of Outlaw NOS Energy Sprint Cars, they did run Las Vegas last week. Tim Schaefer and Donny Schatz picked up the win. No shockers there either way. So great stuff. So there you have it, our Classic Ink Screen Printing and Embroidery Hot Topics. ClassicInkUSA.com. That's www.classicinkusa.com. If you need it, they have it. Time now. We talked about Donny Schatz picking up the win. It was the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. It was at Las Vegas on Thursday night. Darren Pittman is leading. Donny Schatz is chasing. Johnny Gibson is calling it on Dirt Vision, and it was good, so good that it's our Dryden Diesel All Death-Defying Move of the Week.
And now for the Dryden Death-Defying Move of the Week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Logan Schuhart all over Schatz, racing for second. Schatz to the outside in 3 and 4 in traffic, and Donny Schatz will steal the win on the last lap.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Looking for custom racewear and embroidery? Do you want your race fans to represent your race team with trendy original apparel? Contact Classic Ink USA, the new standard in custom screen printing and embroidery, located in Greater Pittsburgh. Classic Ink USA's professional staff utilizes state-of-the-art facilities to transform your ideas into an attractive wearable piece. From custom track swag racewear to trendy quick crew wear, Classic Ink handles it all. Find out how you can get started. Contact Classic Ink USA screen printing and embroidery at the track and on your back.
10 tours, over 200 nights of racing. The American Sprint Car Series is back for its 28th year. Whether you're enjoying the Lucas Oil American Sprint Car Series National Tour at Williams Grove, Eagle Raceway, Skagit Speedway, or any of the 9 ASCS regional tours across Arizona, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and beyond, winged and even non-winged, there's a race happening near you. Check online for schedule details at ASCSRacing.com. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And when you can't be there live, catch the National Tour and select regional events on RacingBoys.com.
O'Reilly. At O'Reilly Auto Parts, we promise you'll get better parts, better prices every day. Our stores are stocked with high-quality parts and accessories at guaranteed low prices, and our friendly, well-trained professionals are standing by to help. So stop in and see how 5 simple words drive everything we do. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Citywide to countryside, whatever you drive, wherever you go. Hercules Tires has the value, selection, and industry-leading warranty to get you there, no matter where the road takes you. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
I'm Terry McCarl. One has a World of Outlaws win and has made the A meeting at the Knoxville Nationals. The other was the first one in line at the breakfast buffet once, or many times. Wing Nation with Steve Post and Aaron Evernham.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Ashley Stremme sitting in for Aaron Evernham as she is with the family down in Disney.
Yeah.
In the sunshine. And we're here in the rain. And let's go to the guest line where there's a guy joining us who is in the snow.
That's right.
Donny Schatz is on the line. Hello, Donny. Welcome back to Wing Nation, man.
Hey, guys. How are you?
We are doing well. How are you? What are the conditions like where you're at now?
It's 9 above, so it's a really nice day. I'm just leaving the airport from moving a little snow. We had some 40 and 50 mile an hour winds yesterday, so it moved a little bit around, but typical North Dakota weather. Gotta love it.
So
it's all about perspective.
so a little snow removal today. What else do we have on our plan? Obviously, I'm sure you're going to be jumping on that sled a little later.
Not today. I went out last weekend, so it takes my body a couple weeks to recover from beating it up over the weekend. But I got a lot of things going on here today. Check on some things. We got some furnaces that are acting up and this and that. So just normal life stuff.
Normal life stuff. There we go. Well, there you have it. Donny, how is you've totally just triggered something in my mind. how does totally life stuff, like most of the guys that do the World of Outlaw tour sitting in hotel parking lots and unfortunately sitting in California in the rain, it seems like lately, how important is that for you to have total life stuff to get away from the racing, to be able to get back home, to get to the racetrack, to get back home? Is that a balance that you really enjoy having?
It is now. When I first started racing, all I wanted to do was be on the road with the race team and around the race car all the time and be in the truck. And, you know, I did the RV thing and was around it all the time. And you just get to a point in your life where, you know, you take a look at racing and say, man, something silly could happen tomorrow and this could all be over. So to be able to have some sort of a plan B is a great option. And my dad always preached it to me, you know, hey, I know you love racing, but there's nothing wrong with trying to work towards have something else to do. And, you know, you never listen to your dad right away. It takes a while to sink in. But after I, you know, listen to him after 10 years or 15 years, I enjoy it. Yes, it gives me a great balance. You know, it actually helps with the racing, too. I mean, you have to run these race teams like a business. There has to be checks and balances for everything and everyone. And business really teaches you some of that. So it's a real asset to be a part of that.
Nice.
So with that normal life, we've seen a little bit different side of Donnie recently, and especially now on Twitter. And I think our fans, I mean, I've enjoyed it, just a little bit looser side of Donny Schatz, a little more in depth with what you've got going on a regular basis. What has really led to this new Twitter spree that you've gone on?
Well, I've always been one, you know, I follow social media. I haven't really posted a whole lot. You know, there's things that you try to keep your personal life private, but it's really not something that you want to do. You know, the people that are close to me, my fans that are close to me, they want to see, you know, what it is I'm doing all the time. So I've just decided to open up a little bit and, you know, see how it goes. You know, it's something. Social media can eat you alive if you're not careful. You can spend 24 hours a day doing it. Heck, I got a daughter that I've preached to it over the years that social media doesn't pay the bills. So, you know, it's you have to have a good balance, but it's really fun for people to be able to see from a different perspective. And you know, people think that we're machines, and we're not machines. We're human beings. So it's great to be able to bring that to them.
Really is. It's been fun to watch, that's for sure. Except for the dancing one. I could do without seeing that. That's kind of burned the retinas in my eyes. But other than that, I think it's been good. But so, Donnie, this year you rolled into this season with some changes within the team. Ricky Warner, your longtime crew chief, is working on the Ford engine project, and hopefully we'll get a chance to talk a little bit about that. But that has kind of juggled it for the team. On the spectrum of major change, subtle change, no change at all, how has that been as Scuba and the rest of the guys have adjusted their at-track workload and their workload with the team in general?
It's been great. You know, Scuba's been with Tony Stewart Racing since before I came there, so he knows how the wheel turns at Tony Stewart Racing. You know, he was on a different team for several years, but he's been on my team, I think, for 8 years, so that's been a plus. And he's really been like the team manager. He's responsible for everything being ready to go, and, you know, it allowed Rick to, you know, be a crew chief and fine-tune things and work on those things. But now he's in that role, and he does it very well. You know, he's had a lot of experience, and, you know, he's hired two guys, Jacob Weaver and Brad Alexander. They got great personalities. They got great work ethic. And he tells these two guys what to do, and they just go do it. And it's not like he's got to stand over their shoulder, so the balance is great. You know, Brad has a non-wing background. He hasn't been around a lot of wing racing, so he's catching on to it pretty quick, and he's responsible for the car and doing a great job. So it's been a lot of fun. You know, and sometimes it's great to have change, but sometimes some people don't accept it well. But man, they're doing a great job. And you know, I heard we were at Vegas, and one of the NASCAR media members said, "Man, you're winless after 3 races." And I got to thinking, really, that's what we're talking about right now? So I guess the bar is set pretty high, and it's fun to have that. But these guys are doing a great job at adapting to the way I am.
Well, Donnie, I'm glad you mentioned that, obviously, with it being a NASCAR weekend in Vegas. What was it like? Obviously, I'm sure it brought new fans to the sport, but like you said, with the media as well, how was that received altogether with it being a dual-headed weekend like that?
It was great, and I think a lot of it has to do with just the Vegas setting. I mean, it's a destination just like anywhere else, but it's one of them special destinations. So, you could see kids, 5 and 6-year-old kids rolling through the pit area with their M&M's yellow NASCAR jacket on, and you knew who their favorite driver was, and their dads were bringing them up and getting autograph cards, and they were leaving there with bags of T-shirts from people they met there. So it was great to see that, and a lot of people said it was their first time, and that's great. We want to give them an opportunity to come and see it once. If they don't like it, well, that's their choice. But we very rarely see anybody come to the races and not like it. And to see the NASCAR media there was great. Got a lot of press. Obviously, the whole goal is to showcase how great the racing is, how great the sport is to the rest of the world, and then give them that opportunity if they want to come to see it or not. So it was a win-win situation all weekend long for that.
I thought so too. I thought pairing up with the K&N series was well, and then of course all the NASCAR stuff at the big track as well. Donnie mentioned this just a bit ago. Ricky Warner is now spearheading, overseeing the Ford engine program with your boy Ron Shaver's involved in it out there. Andy Durham's working on it as well. I listened to an interview you did with Racing Boys with Lee Spencer, and Lee does a great job, and we love the Racing Boys and everything. And what struck me is change is something that we don't all as human beings accept along the way. What struck me is your passion for being part of building something new. Is that what has you as fired up about this Ford engine program that you guys are working on? Is it that newness of it that has you excited?
Yeah, Steve, it's kind of an ironic story. When Stewart-Haas Racing signed with Ford, I remember the day that it happened. We were on our way to the West Coast, and I remember getting phone calls from everybody. Ron Shaver, Rick, all these guys, and the first thing they were all thinking is, oh my God, we got to do this. We got to do this. And every one of them was sitting there saying, I'm not doing it. I'm too far along in life. I'm too old to be doing that stuff. And I said, guys, we have no clue what's going to happen. Tony's got to do what Tony's got to do from a business standpoint, and you got to understand that having your own business, I understand it probably more than anybody does. So when you sit and look at it, what do we have to gain by doing this? And me and Tony sat down, and I'm like, what do we have to gain by this? I don't feel like we can make anything any better. I don't know that we could win any more races than we've won. We've won everything there is to win. So you know what? Some days you have to do things that you don't want to do. It's just part of the sport. It's part of life. It's part of business. So yes, it is. I want to do it to know that it can be done. It's just like years ago. There's a guy in Canada that made a transmission for these cars that you could make them take off with and start them that way. I just wanted to see if he could do it, so I did it. It's not something that I think should be implemented, but we all know it can be done. In this program with Ford, it's been very interesting. It's been very slow. But I'm excited, to be able to do something different. What's happened in our industry is you get something going, and then everybody ends up with it. We go through the hard work of to get this right and that right, and then it ends up in every other car, and you race against it. And that's something that maybe makes a person a little bit disgruntled from time to time, is get sold out by your vendors here and there. But this program, this is from the ground up. So this is a lot of hard work by Rick and Andy Durham and Ron Shaver and the guys at Roush Yates. So it's a lot of fun to be a part of. And, we all have our reservations, but when I got to drive that thing on the racetrack, I was like, is there any way we can get this thing in the car and get to the races right away? Because I need a win. So it's going to be very good. It's very, it's going to be very different. It sounds different. It feels different. But, man, for the first one that they put on the ground, it's incredible, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping it's a game changer.
And we're looking forward to it as well. I love that enthusiasm. I really do. And I know I spend as much time, probably more time with Doug Yates than anyone else. And he sounds just like Donnie talking about it. It's like, I can't wait. Let's go. But there's still a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot. Donnie, always a pleasure to chat with you. We're glad that long, brutal, winless streak is over. Thank God that's over. We wish you the best. Hopefully we see some racing this week in California, but we wish you the best.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.
There we go. Donny Schatz joining us here on the show. Wow. Just phenomenal, isn't it?
It is. It's so cool to see this new side of him that he's sharing with everyone, just because he's not as buttoned up as everyone has always thought. Some of us know the Donnie that we've seen, but I just love that he's sharing it with everyone now.
Now he's got to get back to plowing snow,
That's
though.
right.
That's right. Get back to work there, Schatz. Get back to work. You hung out and talked sprint car racing a little too long there for us. Hey, speaking of pushing snow and running on ice, we need to step away because when we come back, Nick Berry, an ice racer from New Hampshire, joins us next.
For over 50 years, drivers in sprint car, midget, micro, modified, and even dirt late model have taken the checkered flag on Weld racing wheels. Legendary drivers like Joe Saldana, Carl, Mark, and Steve Kinzer, Doug Wolfgang, and countless other racers have trusted Weld racing wheels for their superior strength and lightweight construction to finish ahead of the competition. With 50 years of race-winning engineering and technology, American-made Weld racing wheels are designed and built to withstand virtually any abuse you throw at them. Weld Racing. Proven speed.
Aggressive Hydraulics, where we engineer the cylinders that move your business. We specialize in designing and manufacturing purpose-built application-specific hydraulic cylinders with superior precision and performance, making OEM products stronger, crafting cylinders that operate on a global basis in a wide variety of industries and applications. Get aggressive with your cylinder challenges. AggressiveHydraulics.com.
The Win a Z06Corvette.com sweepstakes to benefit the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum in Knoxville, Iowa is underway. Go to winaz06corvette.com to find out how you can win the Torch Red 2019 Z06 Corvette that is on display now in the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. The winner will be announced Saturday night, August 10th during the 59th Annual Knoxville Nationals. Visit winaz06corvette.com to win this awesome ride.
Hi, I'm Sammy Swindell, and you're listening to Wing Nation.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post here. We always love talking to the champ, Donny Schatz. Always great to talk with Donnie. I'm so fired up about this, though. I'm all geeked up about it. Every winter, we kind of hang out, and I check in with the Lakes Region Ice Racing Club. I follow them on Facebook. Okay. Now, some years we don't have enough ice, and the racing is not all that prevalent. This year they've been racing all year long, and this past Saturday or Sunday afternoon, I think it was, Nick Berry rolled to the win up on the ice in New Hampshire, and he joins us on the hotline. Hello, Nick. Welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey, how are you?
We are well. What's it like to race on the ice?
It's kind of like the dirt. It's just the visibility's poor. You get behind someone, you really you have a difficult time seeing, and you're gonna kind of offset your car from there, so you're not getting a rooster tail direct, to the face. It's definitely different, but it really doesn't feel a whole lot different than dirt racing. This is actually my first year in a sprint car racing on ice, and I was a little nervous at the beginning because I really didn't know what to expect. And the more I've done it, it really does feel a whole lot like dirt, actually.
Absolutely incredible. I'm watching this and I have literally 9 million questions, but we'll start with track conditions. I mean, how does that work? Is it like dirt racing? Does it change over the course of the day as you're racing? How do you put that into consideration when you're picking your tires? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, it really does. It changes quite a bit. And I've noticed it more as the winter has gone on. The beginning of the season in January, the ice is really, really hard because it's been cold, and that seems to me more like a slick track and stuff like that. And as the ice softens, it kind of feels like a heavy track to try to put it into perspective. But the ice, it definitely changes, and it changes throughout the race because, of course, everything's getting like rutted up and it starts getting rough. So you really got to try to find the right shock, combination and balance and all that stuff. So there's a lot of characteristics that play into it.
It's fascinating.
It is,
Absolutely
isn't
fascinating. Okay, you mentioned, now I saw a picture. Is the tires, do you put chains on the tires, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, up until this year, they just started allowing people to experiment with studs, and they may go that route in the future.
Yeah.
But for years, it's just always been everyone runs chains on the back of the cars, and they sharpen them up into spikes and all that kind of stuff. But it obviously they're pretty, they're heavy. So if we could go to the spikes, it would certainly lighten up the rotating weight and be much faster.
I'm blown away. I'm watching this footage that we have up here right now and the windshield wipers going, which was going to be my next question. I mean, do you wear tear-offs? Honestly, how do you stay warm? Because, when that car's going, whatever, 100-ish miles plus, whatever, in the summer, that's not bad. It's your adrenaline's going. But, gosh, that's got to be cold. I think about riding a motorcycle in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's a cross between sprint car racing and snowmobiles, I guess. I mean, a lot of guys, they try to wear jackets and stuff. My car's pretty tight. I got a 2015 XXX, and the interior, it's pretty tight in there. So I honestly just wear a hooded sweatshirt, and my adrenaline keeps me pretty warm, I guess.
Do you have anything in the car that I mean, we see we're looking at some video. We see some protection as far as windshield or some screens that come down. Do you have anything in the car like that, or anything that heats it up inside at all, or not?
Some guys do. I haven't done it. Like I said, this is my first year racing on the ice, and I haven't experimented with any of that stuff. I do have the windshield and a wiper, which is required by the rules and stuff, and that's all I have. I mean, some of the guys, they close in the left side of the cockpit and try to keep some stuff out of there, and mine's still all open like a normal sprint car. I mean, my car is 100% a dirt car, minus I got a windshield and a wiper and some chains on the thing.
Oh my God.
I'm just flabbergasted. Awesome. So obviously this takes place in the winter. Are you racing anywhere in the summer, since you can just take that windshield wiper off?
Yeah, I'm working on some things right now, trying to put something together for the dirt season, running 360 stuff, and we're working on that with some investors and some other key people to come on board as we form a new team. I've been out of the seat for a little while, so my return to racing has been this ice racing, and it's been fun. It's been a good warm up, and I think we've won 8 out of the last 10 races in 5 weeks, and it's been a lot of fun. So it really makes me want to go even more so, go back and race on the dirt. So
we're chatting with Nick Berry here. Nick, the question I have is, I looked through your Facebook and I saw Chili Bowl pictures and everything else. How does a kid in New England get hooked on midget and sprint car racing? What's your background with this?
I don't know. I guess I would have to put it on my uncle. I mean, he's always been, since I was a little child, he's loved sprint cars, and we've always, watched the World of Outlaws on TV together and that kind of stuff. And I did that growing up with him. And as I got older, we didn't really have the money, so to speak, at the time to get out and travel and do all that stuff that we wanted to do. And when I was 15, I got up the gumption to create my own sprint car series called the Sprint Cars of New England now.
Yeah.
I started that series back when I was 15 years old in 2002. And sprint cars have been thriving since then. Mike Conrad did a wonderful job taking that series over and running it, and Will Hall's now kept it going, and so we brought sprint car racing here.
Okay, that is phenomenal, because I've followed along with the Sprint Cars of New England, and just with the sheer volume when we get into race season, it's just, there's so many parts of the country that we just don't do justice to. I mean, we could do a 6-hour show and not cover all of sprint car racing, and unfortunately, when you look at it, let's talk a little bit about the sprint cars in New England. Where do the 360s? Where do you race at? How's the car count going? How is everything going with that as we gear up toward 2019 and and get ready to kick off another season outdoors?
Will's doing a great job. You know, he's got a schedule together, and the tracks that they race at is Devil's Bowl Speedway. It's on the New York and Vermont border. There's Bradford, Bear Ridge Speedway, Bradford, Vermont, and the Legion Speedway in Rumney, New Hampshire.
Wow.
And they venture. They're starting to venture out, I guess, to do some shows in New York as well. So that's kind of neat.
Nice.
So it's thriving, absolutely. And honestly, it's cool to hear your story, but now you're also passing the love of racing from your uncle to you, and now to your son, Caden, I believe it is. He's running Bandoleros.
Yeah. He started off a few years ago at 9 years old in a Tiger Sprint, doing that, and won the championship in that. We moved him up to Sportsman cart, and he won right off the bat in that as well. And then I get him into racing at New Hampshire Motor Speedway in the Bandolero. He did a great job this year. Finished third overall in points for there, and then he won the on their series, and then he won the points championship for New Hampshire State Points Champion. And he really has taken a liking to this racing, and with me coming back racing and running sprint cars, you know, he had a passion to kind of go NASCAR route, and I think with Dad racing now, I think he's really liking the sprint cars. He's helping me out on the cars, and it's all he talks about. He gets on iRacing. All he wants to do now is race sprint cars on iRacing. I think he really wants to go the sprint car route, but I'm not going to push him one way or the other, and he can do what he wants. But he's doing a great job.
Nick, that is just great. I mean, every aspect of this, from the ice racing to the sprint cars in New England to your son, I am telling you what, this is what we love about the sprint car world, is we run into guys like you that just have such a passion for it. And unlike the rest of us that have to wait for the weather, you guys just race right in the snow and the ice and everything. That is so neat. We wish you the best as you put together your plans for the rest of this ice season and then for the non-ice season. Oh, I'll give you a little pointer. You know, you started by saying that the visibility is bad when you get behind someone. Just lead all the races.
Right. That's right. Get out front early and pull away.
That's right. Absolutely. Hey, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us, Nick.
Thanks for having me.
I am telling you what, that's just one of the best stories ever right there.
I'm so flabbergasted. I have 9 million tires. You know, Spikes, can you put him through the tread?
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking.
Yeah. I mean, this is the craziest thing, and watching it is crazy. But then you
So
just
cool.
go, and it's like Nick's passion for it is the same as a guy in Pennsylvania, as a guy in Iowa, as a guy in California. But we've seen New England. We always bust with David Gravel,
Right.
and of course Aaron. We
yeah.
always bust with them. But it's like it just always makes me cock my head and say, "Huh? Well, how did that happen?" But then when you talk to him and you realize it, and now here's another generation that's on iRacing with his son. Man, that is just cool. That really is. Hey, we need to step away. We've got more Wing Nation in just a moment.
Since the dawn of American industry, Dryden was there as the country built its first roads, laid the blocks of its factories, and spanned rivers with new bridges and rails. Today, with Dryden's all technology, we instill this heritage into every Dryden oil, lubricant, fluid, and DEF product we make. Dryden is a tradition of performance with 21st century technology. Dryden, official motor oil of the World of Outlaws, and always American-owned and operated. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Sage Fruit is a high-quality grower, packer, and shipper of Washington State apples, pears, and cherries. Sage Fruit believes in sprint car racing, as a proud sponsor of sprint cars for the past 16 years and a partner of Wing Nation for the past 4 years. We love sprint car racing, and we're there for our sprint car fans. Sage Fruit works hard to deliver an exceptional eating experience. We value our relationship with sprint car fans and appreciate your continued support of Sage Fruit. Ask for Sage Fruit at your local grocer.
O'Reilly.
When it comes to safety, nothing is more important than your vehicle's brakes. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing or grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best and Brake Best Select at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brakes from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Hi, I'm Casey Kane. Now back to Wing Nation.
It is Wing Nation, presented by Hercules Tires, right on our strength. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post here, just having the time of our life. We're still just blown away. Really, the last two conversations, Donny Schatz and where he's at with everything, and Nick Berry. If you want to follow along with what Nick is doing, the Lakes Region Ice Racing Club, and they have a very active Facebook page. That's actually where I follow along with them. So it's the Lakes Region Ice Racing Club. And then, of course, when we get into the spring, it's the Sprint Cars of New England. We follow along with them there. So that is really, really neat. One of the things we always like to do here on the show is we like to nod the cap, if you will, to our friends in turn number 3 at Knoxville, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And I want to mention before we get into the birthday calendar that they have that Corvette raffle that they're doing. They're raffling off a Corvette. And Bob is so picky about the miles on the Corvette that they actually didn't even drive it into the showroom. They pushed it into the showroom. So, I mean, the thing has got like 3.2 miles. I mean, it's I think it might be a little bit more than that, but I don't think it's 20 miles on it. And so very, very picky on that. And then sprintcarstuff.com. I'm telling you, if you've got a Sprint Car fan, that's the sole place you need to go shopping for that Sprint Car fan. You can find everything from hats to towels to hoods, to hoodies, to shirts, to books, to decals. They've got some phenomenal stuff at Sprint Car Stuff. But one of the things we do here is the birthday calendar. Monday would have been Greg Weld's birthday. Bill Schindler, Smokey Snellbaker, Ben Krasner, and Rex Mays have birthdays as well. But today, the birthday of Dick Sutcliffe, a 2001 inductee into the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame, born in Kansas City, Missouri, on this day in 1938. 1956, he started racing modifieds at Lakeside Speedway and some of the tracks there. In the early 60s, he went super modified, which was super modified sprint car, all about the same racing there in the Midwest. And he had success across the board. A 2-time Knoxville champion, 17 wins at the famed Marion County Fairgrounds. 10 times he qualified for the Knoxville National, 6 top 10s, and a great, great story and a great, great guy. And then his son, now what I find fascinating about his son, Rick Sutcliffe, Major League pitcher, 3-time All-Star. He's a broadcaster on ESPN.
Really, really cool. He must have taught him not to hold a steering wheel and give him a ball and a bat.
Give him a ball and a bat, exactly. So, so Rick Sutcliffe, and he's like a Cy Young winner and an MVP, a 3-time MVP. I mean, it's crazy. So it's really, this is what I love about the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum is the stories that you have there. I guess Dick Sutcliffe's 6'6" tall.
Oh, wow.
Giant of a man.
Big boy.
Wheel a sprint car around a racetrack, though, and did it really well and continues on. So really neat. So we love the stories over off from turn number 2 at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum, and you will too. You need to check it out. So, we're hoping for good weather this weekend.
We are.
Oh, my gosh.
Please.
This is just, yes. I mean, this is just really, really getting frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Okay? This Thursday coming up on the show, on Wing Nation weekend, TK. Tim Kading's going to join us. Love chatting with Tim Kading. So we're going to do that. And then coming up on Saturday, it's Wing Nation on Sage Fruit on by Sage Fruit on Mav TV. Greg Wilson going to join us. We just love talking to Greg.
Always.
Oh, my
He's
gosh,
always
it's
a good
fantastic. So, hey, we appreciate Donny Schatz and Nick Berry for joining us here today on Wing Nation.
Wing Nation has been brought to you by Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength. Watch Wing Nation Saturday mornings on Mav TV. You can also find Wing Nation on wingnation.com or your favorite podcast provider. Wing Nation is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.